All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Up next, we have the Bears taking on the San Francisco 49ers, and the 49ers are favored by 4 points. The over-under is the lowest on the week, 39.5. And in this one, I would point out that Justin Fields ranks last in passing yards per game, passer rating, and completion percentage amongst 33 qualified quarterbacks this season. But 5 games that the Bears have played have been against teams with 5 or more wins, which is the most in the NFL. On an injury side of things, know that actually on COVID IR is Elijah Wilkinson, Caleb Johnson, and Jimmy Graham. Some interesting names that are questionable would be Allen Robinson, Khalil Mack is doubtful, Akeem Hicks is questionable. So plenty of injuries to go around on the Bears side. As for the 49ers, they have lost 4 straight games following their 2-0 start to the season. As of recording, I don't know if it's been made official, if Jimmy G's keeping that starting job, if Trey Lance is healthy enough to go and they're going to give it back to him. But some injury notes, Javon Kinlaw, Trey Lance still again, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams, Aziz Al-Shair, and D Ford are all questionable. So on this game, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Jake. Jake, what's happening? 49ers Bears.
Yeah, so in this game, I think it's going to be a really close game. So I'm going to take the home dog in this one. I just think the Bears pull this one out. It's going to be very close though. But that 4 line, that -4, it's past that. Yeah, I'll just take the Bears in this one. I'm going to take the under in this one as well too. I'm not excited about this game. I don't think the quarterbacks are all that great. So yeah, I'll take the Bears in this one. Fantasy standards, Khalil Herbert, awesome. As far as for the 49ers, besides Elijah Mitchell, if you needed a start, and Deebo, I still like Deebo Samuel a lot. I'm not too excited about the fantasy options in this game. Really, besides Deebo and Khalil Herbert are the only 2 that I'm playing with confidence in this game. What about you, Tyler? How do you feel?
Yeah, this feels like one of those games that I could easily see ending 14-17, 18-10, something in that range. I if either team was going to break 20, it would be San Francisco. I just don't see the Bears scoring a ton of points. I think because I like the under so much, I will end up taking Chicago at 4. I just think 4 is a little bit of a wide margin. If I saw that fall to maybe 2.5 or 3, I might rethink it. I could see getting a push at like 22-18, something like that. But for me, whenever I take an under with a total that's sub 40, a 4-point line is just too much. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think if it's a low scoring game and the Bears aren't game planned out of handing the ball off to Khalil Herbert, I think the Bears are able to keep this one within striking distance. Don't be shocked if they pull off the upset. I'm not predicting it, but I could see it. I think Khalil Herbert is, every now and then you watch one of those running backs and you just think this guy is an NFL caliber running back. He impresses you in every type of way and he just pops. And I say that reluctantly as the Montgomery owner in a lot of leagues. I think when Khalil comes face to face with the starter coming back, I think he's going to take some share away. I think it's going to hurt Montgomery owners come playoff time. I think in a lot of ways we're going to see it be a little bit of a 2-headed monster, the way that we see in Cleveland, as much as I hate to admit it. But as long as Khalil's back there and it's a close game, I like the Bears to be able to continue to score enough points to keep this one close. On the 49ers side of the ball, I agree with you, Jake. I think Deebo's in your lineup. I think if you need to play Elijah Mitchell, you're going to be okay with that. The volume will be there in a tight game. I'm not starting either one of the quarterbacks. And I actually think you can start both defenses. I think I prefer the 49ers defense here, but I think this game will be low scoring enough that you'll get enough out of both defenses. What do you think, Matt?
I have the 49ers winning this pretty easily, covering the spread. Still taking the under on it just because neither of these teams are high scoring, high flying offenses by any means. I think the 49ers come out here and right the ship and win the game using the scheme that they started off with against the Colts. If anyone watched the first drive against the Colts last week, Elijah Mitchell had 60 yards and a touchdown on the very first drive. which, considering I was playing against a owner that had Elijah Mitchell, and I had a nice, comfortable 30-point lead, but watching somebody jump out and score 12 points against me right off the bat did not make me feel that good. And if you watch it, I'm pretty, Mike, actually, you can probably help me here too, is I believe Trent Williams, he missed the game last week. What is his practice report at this point this week?
For Trent Williams?
Yeah, Trent Williams.
Doesn't say any information outside of questionable.
Okay. Well, regardless, whether if Trent Williams, who's a future Hall of Famer, if he's back, and you're going to take Akeem Hicks, who's one of the better interior defenders, who's already questionable, so he's going to be less than 100%, and Khalil Mack is most likely going to miss this game. The Bears defense has been stingy enough. No, you run the same offense you ran against the Colts the first quarter, and you run it back over and over and over again, knowing that Justin Fields cannot pass the ball. He proved that last week against the Buccaneers. Everyone that has played the Buccaneers has been able to pass the ball this week, or this entire year. Okay. So if Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, all these players were not able to perform last week, like, how are they going to perform against the Niners? It's not like the Niners are good by any means, but they do have a pass rush. I mean, Nick Bosa can still get there. They have a decent defensive line. And if you're playing against somebody who's a rookie and has shown no ability whatsoever to actually run a regular offense, I'll take Khalil Herbert. I think he's a fine play. He'll get 70, 80 yards, couple catches. Who knows? Maybe he falls into the end zone. I think this is one game I'm more confident than one of the more confident games than any on the dock. I think the Niners cover this handily, obviously because of the points. Yeah, still taking the under. This game will be on every single one of my parlays this week.
I am pretty in sync with you on that one, Matt. I am actually very confident in the 49ers as well. I have very little faith in the Bears, so it might just be my lack of faith in the Bears than I have faith in the 49ers, because I don't think that the 49ers are living up to expectations by any means. They pretty much have one and only one option when it comes to receiving this year, and that's Deebo Samuel. I was actually surprised to hear Tyler and Jake seem like a little bit hesitant when talking about Deebo Samuel. He's getting almost all of the targets. It didn't even matter when George Kittle was in the offense, which he's not right now. He's still injured and he's still going to be out. And even when George Kittle was in, Deebo was getting all the targets. Deebo is the wide receiver 6 on the year. He is an absolute must start in every single league. And it's not even a question. He is their option besides running backs. And then as far as the Bears go, Matt, you made a good point about blitzing. Justin Fields is terrible against the blitz. So I just don't have a lot of faith in the Bears at all. So I'm going to take your sides on that one.
Well, and just one last point there too, is that's the best part is, yeah, he's terrible against the blitz. The 49ers don't even need to blitz to get pressure with the front four that they have there. Justin Fields had his chance last week against the Bucs. The Bucs don't if you can't pass against that secondary as banged up as they are, Allen Robinson is droppable at this point. I mean, what weapon is going to score? It's Khalil Herbert versus the entire team. So if that's the case, I'll take a better coached 49ers team with just a few more weapons to cover a 4-point spread when really all they have to do is give Elijah Mitchell the ball 25 times.
Jake, Tyler, anything to add before we press forward?
I'll take Khalil Herbert against the whole ass team. That's just me though.
Against the whole ass Mike or what?
Hey, Khalil Herbert 1-on-1, Kyle Shanahan. I'm all about it.
Who gets more fantasy points, Deebo Samuel or Khalil Herbert?
Oh, see, that's the thing is I was not hesitant about Deebo.
You sounded hesitant.
No,
you sounded hesitant in your voice.
I was not hesitant. I'll probably still take Deebo over Khalil Herbert, but I would say Khalil over Elijah all day.
I feel that. Thank you for listening to this little highlight of the 2 Minute Drill podcast. If you want to follow along to other games, here's a playlist for you. If you want to listen to the show in its entirety, show links are in the description. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.